Here's the 0-1. This is going to be a tough play. Bryant, the Cubs win the World Series. Bryant makes the play. It's over. And the Cubs have finally won it all. 8-7-10.
Welcome to Club 120. The ultimate roundtable for diehard Cubs fans and lovers of all things sports and lifestyle.
Strike three, you're out.
Hosted by Neil and Nate, two former baseball players and coaches turned loud mouths with strong opinions and even stronger banner. Get ready for quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and the occasional heated debate. From analyzing Cubs on-field action to diving into off-field drama, no topic is off limits. So grab your glove, pour a drink, and pull up a seat at Club 120, where the banner's quick, the takes are hot, and the Cubs always come first. Let's get started.
Play ball.
Hello, Cubs friends. It's 120. You know what that means. It's time to grab an old style and a bleacher seat. You're in Club 120. Let's talk Cubs. I'm Nate, and with me as always is a man who just says no to pumpkin spice anything. Neil, what's on today's lineup card?
That is 1,000% a fact. I hate everything about winter. So the fall is that just means winter's coming, and I can't stand it. Even your pumpkin spice drinks. But hey man, we got a great show today. All kinds of fun topics to take us. Tucker injury. What do we know? What do we want? Then we'll move on to September Shuttle Bus. Who's up? Who's down? Who's going back and forth? What it all means. Then on to low leverage L's. Why does Craig struggle in low leverage choices? PCA Stock. Wild stock values for PCA all year. What is his real value? And our last topic before the topic of the week is my biggest concern is one area where the Cubs need to shore up before the playoffs. And finally, our topic of the week is calling our shots. 23 games left. What will the Cubs' final record be? So let's get it started, man. Let's talk about the Tucker injury. What is it? What do we know? What do we not know? What do you think?
Well, what we know is it's calf tightness and it's day to day. But let's go backwards one. Do you trust any prognosis by the Cubs or Kyle Tucker at this point?
Yeah, no, I don't trust anything they're telling us. I mean, obviously he had like a broken hand or finger or whatever you want to call it. And, we were told, we weren't even told anything. So, I don't know. I tell you, I know this is kind of new to me anyway. You may have seen this, but the lineup card for tonight is out, and it's the second night in a row PCA is not in the lineup. I know this is Tucker's category, but is there something going on with PCA we don't know about?
Right. Okay. I didn't see who's throwing tonight. Are we?
Cade Horton.
Is it another lefty that they're throwing though?
I didn't pay attention to that.
Okay. Man, that's a tough one. Maybe it's just an extended rest. Maybe that they saw the benefits of what happened when Tuck had a couple of days off of basically not putting a jersey on, and they're going with that. To tighten up the Tucker deal, Neil, to play there. But when he's right, he's a top 10 guy. I mean, look at the road trip. And even on Tuesday night, one swing of the bat in that game is a different ball game. Pretty much from that swing on. The Cubs failed to really capitalize, but the Braves were pretty much dead in the water there for the most part. And they really had to fight. So when he's not right, we have a problem. We have a big postseason problem if Kyle Tucker isn't right. So what I would like to see, tell me what you think here, but I'd love to see him hit the IL for 10 days. Call Casey back up, let him play, let him and the Jaguars split time out there in the outfield. Give PCA and Hap a couple of days off too, and just get healthy because he doesn't need a ton of swings. He's proven that. He had an awful spring training. He had an awful month of this season, and all of a sudden he's just out of nowhere grooved again. So he doesn't need a ton. Would you support Kyle Tucker just hitting the DL or IL for just a few days just to give everybody some breaks?
Yeah, I mean, you answered a lot of the things that I was going to ask you. You know, the lack of clarity around his, is it day to day or something bigger, and what you would do. Obviously, that's an IL stint, and yeah, I see that. But what what the Cubs need from Kyle in September is what we got from him in the last 3 days. And it's funny, um, was talking to you about it actually during his at bat, and was like, why is he continuing to try and pull outside pitches? Like, just go with a pitch for one time. Like, what would happen if you went with a pitch?
Right.
And sure enough, he hits a home run opposite field, like the next pitch. And, um, but, and that to me, that shows what would happen if you did go with a pitch.
Absolutely. The funny caveat is I'm about a pitch and a half ahead of you in the feed. And so when you're saying that, I'm like, funny you should say that. Right. And it's gone, right? And so you're like, next pitch. No, it literally hit my screen and the pitch was gone. And I was like, well, thanks for talking some trash. Maybe that's what we need to do. Get riled up about these guys. I don't know. Kyle, if you're hurt, go to the DL, man. Like, just do it. It's okay. Like,
yeah, well,
but settled at this point. Look at what he is when he's healthy. Look at what he is when he's not. Everybody understands that, and they will literally pay for 5 out of 6 months of that kind of Kyle Tucker.
Yeah, no, if he's not healthy, bring Owen Casey back and just let's roll it out there. Set him down for 10 days. But let me ask you this: when it comes to October or late September, if you will, if Kyle Tucker's 80%, do you play him every day?
No, because he doesn't need all that. Like he doesn't need that rhythm. He clearly doesn't have some sort of, he has his little small cage routine. He needs to be healthy. That's the only key. The Cubs' biggest key is not PCA being the electric kid he was all of the first half. That's not the key. The key is Kyle Tucker. If he is healthy, then we can take the streaks from everybody else. We can take the streaks from everybody else if Kyle Tucker is healthy, and that's the kind of bat he is, and he's proving his worth even in his downturn as this Cubs offense changes.
Okay, so how he does. All right. Speaking of roster juggling, let's talk about September Shuttle Bus. September call-ups, signings, final summer notes as rosters expand. Who's up from Iowa that could matter in this playoff push?
Well, I guess you could say one trade was completed today with Ben Cowles being selected by the White Sox, which, you saw him hit the DFA board a couple days ago after the Savali pickup. So it was only a matter of time there. So that was kind of a trade. So that was a Jed working post-time trade. So Savali's here. Are you surprised that the one call-up from Iowa is Kevin Alcantara?
I am, yes. Listen, this might be a hot take, and I don't know about it. But, I told you, I texted to you earlier yesterday or maybe the day before. I'm not a Jaguar guy. I don't believe that Alcantara is a vital member of the Chicago Cubs organization in 2026 and beyond. I think that he has always been a trade piece, and I think that at the deadline, that's one that Jed was willing to move, and nobody wanted him. Everybody wanted Casey and Mo Baller, and I think he's like, well, we have the shiny Jaguar over here, and I don't think he had any takers, and I believe that's Kevin Alcantara's value to the Cubs, to be quite honest. I just don't see him fitting in with this roster. And that, again, I could be way off. I hope I'm way off. I hope he's a 30-30 guy, but I just don't see it. I just don't. Do you think that the Cubs will actually use September to test kids or just stash depth?
And it's an interesting deal here because it's Carlos Santana signs. Savali is here off of a minor league deal, so he's now through that system now, and I bet he does not have an option anymore, so he's pretty much here. I I don't see much room here. And with Craig's adverse lineups to these kids and giving them that opportunity, especially when he already conceded the division a few weeks ago, I would have really thought that there would have been a lot more rotation of the lineups here coming down the stretch. Maybe he is. Maybe he does that. I don't know. But if Alcantara is the only one, I would be shocked.
Okay, so which signing or call up excites you the most?
Oh, well, the Casey deal did. I mean, that he was everything as advertised. We sat there and waited for it, and then he came out and performed. And now he's gone. So will we see him again?
Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Okay. Well, when it comes to in-game decisions, Craig is still catching heat. So speaking of Owen Casey and going back down and not getting, here we are with low leverage L's. Why does Craig struggle in low leverage choices?
It's been interesting because there's been a couple of 2-run deficits lately, Neil, that he went throwaway first. Like he just let's just go with somebody. And instead of just trying to get a zero, like at that point in the 4th, 5th, or 6th inning, you just need a zero to see if your bats are going to play the second half of the game. And it seemed like he punted and it unraveled on him. And a couple times it's gotten away from us. But the other night we finally fought back. But is his reaction and the way he goes first to the pen when we're down, when the Cubs are down, is that a byproduct of his feel for the offense right now?
No, yeah. Here's the thing. I'd almost rather a guy overmanage than do what we're doing here. Like, I mean, we joke about the binder and making these calls based on what the binder says in this situation. Like, I would rather you overmanage than just be a bystander or a robot. Like, I have no confidence right now in the Cubs in October based on the way they're being managed.
If you
Go ahead.
If you saw the binder and knew the plan, would you be more on board with it, Assistant Coach Neil?
No. I think if I saw the binder, it would be even more maddening. Like, who is writing this stuff?
Well, it's accumulated over time. And we live in a day-to-day world. We watch 162, but we watch one of 162. Tonight is a game, right? And those statistics are accumulated over seasons in a lot of cases for these guys. That's what I have a problem with, because in the moment, today feels like this. And I'll live with how today feels versus that binder. I know you tell me that we should throw a lefty against this guy right now, but I'm telling you right now, he can't touch a fastball over 96. So let's blow him away. And I feel like we just don't do that.
Well, we've talked about it ad nauseum. I think like the binder doesn't discuss leverage. It doesn't tell you what's high leverage and what's low leverage. The binder just tells you in this situation, this is what you do. And I just don't think you can manage the game that way. I don't think that respects the game, honestly. Like, I think I think the thing I liked about Joe Madden is he was the perfect blend between, he was like a perfect marriage between analytics and old school baseball manager. And
right.
And when neither one of them were working, he was like hiring a petting zoo. Like, the guy was doing whatever he could to own the clubhouse and to win baseball games. And I just don't. I don't have a good warm fuzzy about that. I don't know. You just don't see guys sticking up for him like those guys back in, Rizzo and those guys sticking up for Madden in any situation. You don't see that out of these guys. So it makes me wonder if they think the same thing,
When was the last time Craig smiled?
Right. Yeah.
He's not. I mean, there's no fun. It seems like he does not enjoy his job right now. And for $5 million a year in a sold out park every night, man, for people watching you do what you do.
Yeah. I mean, you got to have some fun, man. Like, loosen up.
But the binder doesn't say fun. It doesn't have a fun category. It, like you said, it doesn't have leverage. It doesn't also manage fun. There's no category for the two things that are needed right now in this time of year, and it's going to be put to the ultimate test.
Okay, well, I asked you last week, and I think we actually released that TikTok today, actually, but it was, do you trust Craig Counsell? But do you trust his binder?
I mean, if you're just playing the statistics, then statistically speaking, it should come out on top. I guess that's the case, right? I mean, we're trying to just win a series from here on out. Everything that we should look at from here on out is, are we winning series? Because that's all that matters in October. So we have a few short series left. We have a 4-game series left with Cincinnati. Everything should just be about winning the series. So if the binder says this is where it's at, we should just pay attention to some of those things, because I'm more interested in how some of these guys are going to be deployed, because roles are going to be changing. We're not going to roll 5 starters out in the playoffs. So there's going to be some movement for these guys, and we'll get into that here in a little bit. And I think that's going to really throw his binder for a loop.
All right. Well, speaking of statistics, let's talk about PCA's roller coaster stock price. Man, wild stock values for PCA all year. What do you think his real value is?
Before I answer that, I want a short question you. Do you think Pete wins the Gold Glove this year?
Yes.
Okay. So then for me, 135 million, which is the going rate for the young stars like Jackson Merrill, it seems a little cheap for the production and the entertainment value that I'm going to get for the next 4 years of Cubs life. So if you're having questions about his bat at any point in time, just understand that his defense of 20 plus runs saved right now is just like driving in 20 more runs. For simple statistical math, for people that don't understand how these guys value stats, which I don't a lot of times either, I look for the shortest point. Well, if he's saving 20 runs, it's just like driving in 20. So what does that put him at, like 95? 100 runs already with a month to go. I'll take that kind of production anyway, offense or defense. You made a point the other day, and I want to put this out here. So let's, kind of clean the tape up here. What did you say the other day about PCA going below the 250 mark as a hitter?
I'm okay with it. If PCA is hitting 245, 250, and providing me just what you said, the absolute. I mean, just this week alone, he's caught 2 or 3 balls in the outfield that no one else catches. Like, and if you keep providing me the outs above average that you are providing me in the outfield, I'm okay with you going 245, 240 from the plate. I'm okay with it. Like, here's the thing. Everyone's on the Kyle Schwarber bandwagon right now. Like, Kyle Schwarber is second in all of baseball in strikeouts.
Yeah.
But the guy hits 4 home runs a night, and he's the freaking savior, and everybody wants him on the roster, and everybody's like, we shouldn't have traded Kyle Schwarber. Like, the dude strikes out more than, say, a Suzuki. Like,
right.
But you know what? He drives in runs. So what Kyle Schwarber provides to the Phillies, PCA is providing to us on defense.
Yeah.
And I'll take it all day. I'll take it all freaking day.
We seem to be getting that in a lot of our young guys right now. Look at Matt Shaw's defense right now. Bushy's defense has improved greatly. Obviously, Nico's doing Nico things, and Dansby as well. So defensively, the Cubs are in a fantastic shape, and I think that's probably what's allowed this to be to kind of weather that storm. And that's the thing about PCA stock, is it really hasn't changed. We see it changing every day because we want to be so volatile with his 0 for 3 with 3 Ks and a fly ball to the second baseman type of thing, right? Like, and 3 helmet throws. That's what we get caught up in. But the reality of his stock is that defense plus that electricity of a 30-30 guy under the age of 25, it's just so rare. And right now, I think the Cubs are missing that. I don't know where they value that stock, but if they don't put that as priority number 1 in their offseason, honestly, Neil, I think that's a long-term investment gamble that they're going to lose.
Yeah, but you and I talked about this with, we kind of have that working theory of zero-sum Tom. So we'll see if he's willing to put someone on payroll past 2026.
Right.
We'll see that this offseason, whether he makes an offer to PCA or not. So let me ask you this: if you're a stockbroker,
Okay.
okay, and PCA is stock or Bitcoin, whatever the heck you want to call it,
Mhm.
are you buying, selling, or holding?
Can I get him for the market rate of about that 135 right now?
Ooh, I don't think so. I mean, he
That's
turned
what I
down
guess.
75.
I mean, I'm holding right now. If I'm the Cubs, I'm holding because a couple more months of 200 level hitting brings him back down to that 135 range, which they're probably, already had a contract drawn up for. But when he's going off and every MVP tweets are flying around the internet on Sports Center, even, Tom's going, well, I know why he's not calling us back.
Right.
So, again, 135 seems cheap for this level of production for the next 4 years. And here's my theory: what if this is the best contract that we're ever going to give PCA?
Yeah, that's the part that scares me. The thing about
Well,
PCA though is like I think he's. I get caught up in his emotions is the problem. That's my problem with PCA. Like I'm a big PCA guy. Like I'm on the bandwagon, right? But like, there'll be a time or two where I miss the first 2 or 3 innings. I can't get home from work in time or whatever to watch the first 2 or 3 innings. And then I text you and say I'm live and PCA's got his second at bat and he throws his bat and throws his helmet. And I'm thinking, well, he must be 0 for 2 or 0 for 3 on the day. Next time he comes up to the plate, he's 1 for 2. And I'm like, well, what's he so pissed off about? Like, and that's my thing is my emotions ride with him. And I got to quit doing that because he is pissed off all the time.
You think it's going to get any better or improve? I don't believe so. I think that's just kind of going to be the kid he's going to be. He channels his energy that way. A lot of us as coaches, we would hate that, right? We don't love those guys that channel their energy through anger. But he's clearly been able to do that productively at the highest level. So, maybe he'll improve. I don't know. But again, at the end of the day, we all support your theory of PCA hitting 250 and doing all the things that he does is absolutely worth that under 25 contract that these kids are getting around the league. So it'll be interesting to see where that ends up. Does he set the new bar this offseason for those second and third year contracts of arbitration? It'll be interesting to see what Tom Ricketts does this offseason.
Okay. Well, as we look forward to October, what's the one thing that's keeping you up at night? What is your biggest concern is?
Craig's feel for a baseball game. But since we can't fix that, let's give him plenty of weapons. All right. So
Retweet.
Weapons development is what my biggest concern. We've got guys like Ben Brown, Colin Ray, Soroka, Tyone, even Hodge, and the new guy Savali. These guys all need roles for October. It's going to be interesting to see how those guys are deployed this month. You're going to see guys like they've already put some restrictions on Cade casually where, that fifth inning comes. And even if he's at 65, 70 pitches, somebody's already up in the pen. So it'll be interesting to see how they start matching these guys up, because when it comes to playoff time, that's what's going to be huge is somebody's going to give up a couple runs early and Craig's going to go to the pen. And one of these guys that I just mentioned, Brown, Ray, Soroka, Tyone, even Savali, those guys are going to be relied upon to get 12 to 15 playoff outs. And
yeah. So, there's an old saying out there. It's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah.
And I just don't think you can win in October without a lot of luck. So when it comes to the biggest concern, my biggest real concern, honestly, if we're talking between the lines concern, is clutch hitting. I mean, that's my biggest concern. We've seen a little bit of it this week, honestly, 2 times in the same game from Kelly, and Nico's just been clutch for the last, 130 games. I mean, but the problem with Nico is he bats so far down in the lineup, we only get to see him 3 times a night instead of 4 or 5 like we should. So we don't get to ride that as often as we. So that's concern number one. But my concern is, and here's the thing: you can help me out here. Maybe I've got fan goggles on,
Okay.
but I feel like since the All-Star break, we have been the most unlucky group of individuals. As far as, I mean, Saya struck out looking. I think it was the end of last week on 5 pitches, and not one pitch was in the zone. Not
Yeah.
one.
He seems to have
And
one of those every year where it's like, that's real. That's a real strike zone.
yeah, but it's not. But it's like, when we got touched up the other night for like 3 innings or 3 runs in 1 inning, and not one hard hit ball.
Mm-hmm.
Like all jam jobs or broken bats, broken bat flares, and it's like, come on, you got to be kidding me. Like,
Well,
so
let me ask you this. So that you asked the fan goggles. So let me ask you this: would you be okay with grinding it out here for the next couple of weeks and that luck turning in October, or do you want to feel that momentum right now?
I think I'm not right now, but I think within the next 2 weeks we got to start feeling some momentum. Like, yeah, I want to feel some momentum before October. And I'm not saying we're 5 games back. I'm not saying we got to come all the way back and make the St. Louis series mean something. I hope for St. Louis' sake it doesn't mean jack crap. But I'm saying for us, I'm hoping that series does mean, do you want that first? If you don't want a wild card spot, but if you get a wild card spot, you want that first one.
Sure. Well, that kind of leads us into our last one here. So I'll bring this egg. So calling our shots as we get to these last few series, Neil. We've got 23 games left. At the beginning of this offseason, Jed laid out the blueprint to win 90 games. He said, this is what it takes. This is what kind of teams win 90 games, get to the playoffs. He had this whole mantra. Here we're here with 23 games left. The Cubs only have to go 500, and they're going to get to that 90-win plateau. Are the Cubs going to go better than 500 down the stretch? Is this going to mean anything at all? Are we already in the playoffs? Are the cows in the barn per se? And we are not going to see the best version of the Cubs. What do we get down the stretch here?
Well, I don't remember. I know we did a prediction episode prior to the season. I don't remember what I said then. I feel like 94 is what's going to happen. I don't remember what I called. I think I may have called 95 or 96 back then, but I'm 94 is what I'm sitting at. I here's the thing. I'm saying 94, and I say we still don't catch the Brewers. And I think, the question, do they sprint through the finish line or do they limp into October? I think we sprint through the finish line. I really do.
You think that little comeback win the other night ignited something, and we're in this little slot that got us back in that groove?
Yeah, and I think also, I think some of the things that we've been saying need to happen are starting to happen. Minus Saya. I think when Ian Happ makes an out, he's still absolutely crushing the baseball. He is squaring up everything he sees right now. And I'll take this version of Ian. I don't care if he goes 0 for 6. If he's hitting the ball like he's hitting it right now,
right,
I'll take it. I mean, he is absolutely crushing the baseball because even if you're making outs, if you continue to hit the ball this hard, you are going to force some issues. Now, Ian Happ's not going to force as many issues because he's a switch hitter. But there's enough splits out there for guys that, in the other dugout say I'd rather face him on the left side than on the right side. So we're going to bring in a right-handed guy here or a left-handed guy here. So you're forcing teams to get into their pen even if you're making outs, if you're hitting the ball that hard and squaring them up. He's hitting the ball well. Kyle Tucker's seemed to be turned the corner. So I feel like I don't know if it was the walk-off that did it, but I do feel like we're sprinting towards the corner, towards the finish line.
Yeah. I think that's a good 94 is where I settled. And it was pretty simple. I just kept up the same theme that we've been doing this whole season, Neil. It's win the series, win the series, win the series. So I just checked them off and I came at that. And I even went a little light there. I went 94 because I gave the Red series a split 2-2. So 94 is where I'm at. 4 games better than advertised as far as what Jed gave us. And yet we still are going to find a way to bitch about tonight's game.
We're going to bitch about tonight's game even if we score 14 runs.
Yeah, because it'll take too long, and then, it's nothing. That's what we do, Cubs fans.
Yeah, no, I'll never complain about a Cubs game taking too long. These games right now are perfect because they're just, but I love day baseball. Don't get me wrong. I love it. But, man, when it's over, you're like, what do I do with the rest of my night now?
Right.
Now I gotta watch 2 teams I don't really care about, and instead of rooting for somebody to win, you're rooting for somebody to lose.
Yeah.
And, so that's no fun. But then when they play on the West Coast, it's impossible to stay up for those. And then we have right now is right in the slot, like perfect time, have some dinner, sit down and watch the game and then go to bed. It's perfect.
Right in the slot for the next couple of weeks, Cubs fans. We got some good matchups here tonight as the Cubs go for a sweep. We're looking forward to that. And then get a nice little day off. So I'd love to earn a little day off sweep, and that'll be nice to see the weekend.
Absolutely. That's it for us. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching however you do or listening however you do. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, whatever. We're social media at Club 120 Show and online at www.club120show.com. That's it for us. Go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go.
This has been Club 120. Neil and Nate have practically spent their entire lives doing something centered around baseball. And with these guys, you're going to get quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and, yes, heated debates. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. And, of course, the website at www.club120show.com. Until next time, go Cubs, go!